Hey, what is going on, guys? The SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and we are live. Did it? Well, I think so. Alrighty, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Couple kinks. What couple of weeks has it been? I've never seen this much chaos ever. In terms of shutting stuff down. I mean, it's just wow. So, guys, this is my live stream update. I guess so, it's been a rough past 2 weeks, guys. Obviously for everyone. This coronavirus thing is spreading like wildfire. It's kind of ruined everything in the month of March. It's canceled a bunch of stuff. It canceled a bunch of cons. Two of them that I was going to go to, particularly, and probably future ones this year. Actually, no, there was another one that's coming up in April that I'm going to miss now, too, because of this. Currently laid off. Not really much at all to do. Gym, can't go to the gym. Which really sucks. Mostly been just kind of watching stuff and video games, really. And sometimes making videos here, and that's about it. Not really that many, though. Because there really isn't that much to cover. Theaters are closed. And I live in the state of New York, which has gotten hit the most overall. I don't live in New York City, so I'm not. We're not in that much of a pandemic in our area, but I mean, just it's been crazy, guys. It's been crazy. These past couple of weeks, I'll tell you. Just stuff not happening right now. It's just not happening. I have been able to watch a couple different things, but at the same time, you know, dubs are getting pulled, which I suspected would happen. You know, there's a big delay in dubs right now from Funimation and a bunch of other productions. Toonami's probably going to rapidly go down now because of this. They're wrapping up Sword Art Online. They won't have to worry about Food Wars because Season 3 has all been dubbed, so once Season 2 ends, they'll just go right into Season 3. Naruto Shippuden, they don't have to worry about. since that's been dubbed eternity ago. All the episodes have been dubbed an eternity ago. Black Clover, I mean, they're currently showing it, but eventually they're going to catch up to where Funimation Now is, which once they get to where Funimation Now is, then they'll have to pull Black Clover off. They're like 8 or 7 episodes ahead of where Funimation's at right now. Which might actually be beneficial once they come back, because then they'll be closer to where they're at. But to where Funimation's at, I guess. I don't know. Depends on how they're balancing that out. They only right now they announced the marathon. They announced the Dragon Ball Z Kai marathon. Yeah, they announced the marathon. I don't know if they're going to announce anything further after that. It's during the Easter, which this is probably the first time they've had a marathon for Easter, because Easter they never have marathons for. The only time was a couple of years ago when they did it for the April Fools, because Easter happened to land on April Fool's Day, but it was mainly for April Fools, because they were doing that April Fool's prank crap that they do. Can't totally quiver about April Fool's Day, though, because that's the reason why Toonami even exists again. Whew. Just kind of a shock to everything, you know. Yes, it's getting a marathon. I just mentioned it's getting a marathon on Easter weekend, which is the first that they normally do. Easter marathons are not a thing for Toonami. They did it a couple of years ago because it was April Fool's Day, and they do marathons on April Fool's Day. They do pranks on April Fool's Day. But usually Easter is not something they do holiday stuff on, holiday marathons on, because it's not considered a national holiday. But they are because of the situation that we're in with the coronavirus. A lot of shows are going to be affected, and Toonami's already being affected already, so that's not what they need right now. So, yeah, that's going to be delayed. I guess it's hold it out. Some of the shows won't be that affected. Food Wars has already been dubbed. Naruto's already been dubbed. But shows like Sword Art Online are about to end, so next week, I guess, is the last episode for part 1 of this season that they're doing for Alicization. I guess another part, since it's technically still part of season 3, but the last 12 episodes haven't been released yet, so Sword Art Online will be on hiatus soon. Black Clover's only 8 or 7 episodes ahead of where Funimation's currently at, which Funimation has seeked dub production right now for the last 2 weeks. Black Clover, I don't know when that's going to get pulled, because, you know, they could put out episodes right now, but eventually once they get to where Funimation's at, then, they won't be able to do anything. Same thing with My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia, they stopped the simuldubs like 2 weeks ago, and I think they're only like 3 episodes ahead of where the dub is at, 3 or 2 episodes. So they're eventually going to catch. They're definitely going to catch up to My Hero Academia. So, um, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do after Easter, in terms of when they're gonna if they're gonna continue doing new episodes again. I guess them putting marathons on Easter is just for them to buy time, um, while they figure shit out. But um, we have no sign of when Boruto's coming back in because supposedly it's gone. It's a free agent. Jason DeMarco said, I never closed the door fully on it. It's just that we're not having it anytime soon. You know, even though Boruto, like, is Naruto and it, like, gets high ratings. It's, we're just going to pull on that one, right? I don't know. I don't know right now. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Toonami right now with the low programming they have already. They cut hours back. And shows that they have on there, because they are relying on simuldub shows, they're going to eventually catch up to where they are. So, the only thing they don't have to worry about is Food Wars, because Food Wars whole season 3 has already been dubbed. It's available on DVD and Blu-ray. So once they get out of season 2, they'll be going right into season 3. So they don't have to worry about Food Wars. They don't have to worry about Naruto. Naruto's been dubbed like an eternity ago. So those episodes will just continue airing. I'm not sure about the other shows. Demon... What is it called? Slayer? Demon Slayer? I don't know. Demon Slayer. And the JoJo show. I don't know how long those will last, but once those shows end, because those shows aren't simuldub shows, shows will probably just, once those shows end, then, what do you do? I don't know. The scheduling is going to be completely off very soon at the rate they're going. So they gotta really think of something here. Hopefully it's for the better. Also, guys, just to plug that out, if you are a part of the Funimation forum sites, I'm going to be doing the Hero of Greatness third annual tournament. I'm going to be doing just so everyone knows. Do we have a link for that? Let's see. Just put the link in. Heroes of Greatness. Yay. I have the rules all on the thing. Plug that. Heroes of Greatness tournament. Put that in there. Yeah, it's gonna be a weird month. It's gonna be a weird month. Or 2 months. Hopefully, no, hopefully this doesn't go on for another month, because this is insane. 3 conventions that I was supposed to go to this year got canceled because of this. I was not happy. I'm going to tell you that, because one of them canceled 2 days before I was supposed to go, and I was not happy about that. Just saying, was not happy. Not happy about those conventions canceled. I get it, but at the same time, I'm still pissed. I understand, obviously, but I'm still pissed. Doesn't make it any less upsetting. Yeah, I don't know. Conventions aren't gonna look that good this year. Now with all these conventions canceled, like they're saying by by September they're saying everything should be good, but what about summer? What about the rest of spring? What about all that? We're just gonna be sitting here all this time for this? It's like, really? It's like, dude, I can't be doing this. Like, and I'm trying to figure out like different things I can do at home, but I don't really. My home's not that big. I don't really have that many weights, so I can't even go to the gym right now. Okay. I go to I was going to the gym every week. I've been doing trying to do some cardios at the park, but that's not nearly as good doing that, because there's nothing really you can do there. Do a couple exercises here and there, but that's not nearly as good as using weights. You know what I mean there? It's kind of disastrous right now. It's disastrous right now, guys. And then the movie theaters have closed. You know what I mean? Know what anime I haven't seen for a while? Voltor, the classic series. Boomerang. I don't know when Voltron. I don't know who I don't know who still or who owns it right now. Boomerang has gone to shit, so they probably don't show it anymore. Boomerang is just basically Cartoon Network 2 now. Yeah, they might as well just be like ESPN, ESPN2. Just change Boomerang to Cartoon Network 2, because that's basically what it is. They show stuff that, had just aired the previous day. That's not Boomerang. Boomerang's supposed to be, it's all coming back to you. Not, some BS of stuff that just happened. Stuff that just aired. Oh yeah, this just aired, and we're gonna now show it on Boomerang, because that's really all coming back to you. You know what I mean there? And the movies are gone. What am I supposed to talk about in the movies? It's like, oh yeah, movies coming soon. Not really. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman has been postponed to August. I was really looking forward to that Wonder Woman movie. The sequel one, 84, Wonder Woman 84. Freaking, what's it? Black Widow? Yeah, Black Widow was coming out. Black Widow was coming out, I think, this month too, right? That would have been interesting. No, I think was it coming out in May? I'm not sure. I know Wonder Woman was coming out in April. I think Black Widow might have come out the same month though. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because that's gonna be delayed. Because the movies are closed, obviously. So, 2 good movies that were gonna come out have been screwed because of this. And that really does concern me too, because it's like all these movies that were supposed to come out this month or next month or whatever, right? All these movies that were supposed to come out, okay, they're all getting postponed. What's going to happen to the movies that were like supposed to come out during the times that all these other movies were coming out that are coming out now that are going to come out like later? What happens to those movies? Are those movies going to be posted? Like everything is like basically screwed because it's like what's going to happen to Venom? What's going to happen to the Venom 2? Like, is it going to still come out in October now? Or is, like, Sony going to have, like, all the other movies that were, like, pushed or postponed, like, during this month, you know, and have it be pushed back? You know what I mean there? And then you got other studios, like, what is Disney going to do? What is Disney going to do with Marvel movies? Like, are they, like, what happens then? What happens? Like, is there a surge? Like, do they all come out at the same time now, or are they just gonna, are they gonna push those movies back, or like, you know, what happens? You know, what happens to those movies? Well, yeah, I mean, this kind of sucks. Um, you know. I got to see My Hero Academia, which was good. We seen that. We seen that on the premiere day, which I don't remember when that was. What day was that? That was Wednesday. That was the first Wednesday of March. The 4th. Right? Was it the 4th? Or was it? It had to have been. Because everything closed by that point. After that. Because it was definitely Wednesday. I don't know. Point being is that movie, I got to go see that movie, but then after that, everything was all screwed up after that. It was like literally. Where is it? Because we did that. It was literally basically like, oh yeah, now we're done. Okay, let's see here. I want to just check to make sure. Oh no, it was the 26th. So okay, so it was the last week of February. Okay, so February 26th. February 26th, right? That was the last day. Or that was the first day, I'm sorry. And I seen it on that day. Who would have thought like a week later? What was it, like a week later? That was when the NBA closed? NBA closed, like, because I worked that day. I worked the next Wednesday on the 4th, March 4th. I worked that day. And, then that night, once we closed, that's when I got home, and then I heard that the NBA had canceled their like remainder regular season games. And then literally the next day, the next morning following the NBA closing that night, literally everyone started closing. Like literally that morning, everyone started closing. You started hearing the theaters closing. You started seeing the stores closing. You started seeing everything freaking close. It was just so. I was like, "What the frig is going on?" And then you see all the other sports things closing. Then you see all the schools closing. Everything just started closing, and it was just a train reaction to everything that was happening. And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" It's been just such a weird 2 weeks for me. It's just weird because like I'm basically being told to like not do anything, which I can't do. I can't not do anything. You know what I mean? I'm still going out, by the way. I'm trying to minimize it, but I can't like stay in this house like nonstop. That's just not me. You know what I mean? Um, going to the park, trying to get some exercises in, that I can do at the park since obviously the park's not a gym. Um, Playing a little more video games than normal. Um, but trying to keep it to a minimum. Right, lol, yeah. It's been crazy, guys. It's been crazy. Um, it's just, I'm just like, this corona. I mean, I've never heard of a virus being this deadly, like this deadly for things to get closed down the way everything's been closed down. It's just insane seeing this happen. Um, and I don't know how long this is gonna last for. I don't know how long we're gonna have companies like being closed. Like, I mean, I can't go to a restaurant like to sit in anymore. I can't go to a restaurant and sit in anymore. Like they got rid of dine-ins, okay, in New York. I don't know if they did it for every other state, uh, but I think most states have like got rid of the dine-in thing. Okay, New York got rid of that, and it's so weird now. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, well, they're trying to get a vaccine for it. Supposedly, in the summertime, this virus goes down because of the heat. The heat diminishes it from spreading, but they need to get a vaccine or whatever, I guess, to really kind of minimize this virus. Because the virus is never really gonna go away. The virus is always gonna be here. It's a virus. It's just we don't have a vaccine to like kind of contain it. Um, that's the thing. A virus can't go away. A virus is a virus. The virus is just, they gotta contain it with a vaccine that can get rid of it. Um, but I mean, it's just weird. It's really bizarre with the minimum things. You can't go to a store. They're doing this whole thing with the online thing now, where you have to literally. I haven't even tried it yet, but there are some stores like are doing this where you can pay online and then just pick it up. Like I'm like, what? Sometimes that works, sometimes this, but some of the systems aren't equipped that way. Like you gotta, oh yeah, here, yeah. I'm like, dude, like, how am I supposed to like? What if you don't give me the right item, bro? Like, man, it's just, dude. There's just nothing right now. There's just nothing right now. It's just, it's just like, what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. Watch TV. What else is there? I mean, I've been trying to catch up on some different shows that I've been wanting to watch, um, or stuff that I haven't been able to finish. Um, you know, especially with some of the anime shows that I'm watching being pulled off and delayed right now. There's a couple other shows I've been trying to watch, but you know, I'm just not really knowing what's gonna happen. Yeah, the governments, yeah, the Chinese really kind of blew that one. They didn't listen to their doctor that detected the virus. And yeah. So many things. Well, I was able to get Sonic X. Okay. I think eBay's still doing online. I don't know if I heard Amazon's not doing it anymore, but I don't know. Accepting online stuff right now. Like I said, everything's closing right now. Everything's just closing right now. It's unreal. Uh, like a four kids thing. Isn't that wasn't that that block robot thing? It was like the rainbow block robot thing. I think he's talking about. I'll be looking for those One Piece DVDs. Do they even still have them on Amazon? Last time I checked, they were like $5 on Amazon. The ones they had. Yeah, the One Piece 4 Kids DVDs. They didn't release all of them. They didn't release all of them. There was a bunch of episodes that were dubbed that aired on television that never were released on DVD. Uh, I think it may have been 10. I'm not sure though. The ones that were done by 4 Kids. Yeah, I wish they would have released all the episodes on DVD. I definitely think they should have all been. They dubbed them all. They dubbed. Was it 100? Well, they skipped a bunch of episodes too. That's another thing. They skipped like 2 arcs. Yeah, I think there was. But I think they skipped episodes, though. There was 104 episodes they dubbed, but they skipped a bunch. They skipped, like, at least 40 episodes. Um, Within that. Like, there like, the episode they actually ended on was actually an episode that, I think was, like, 144 in the actuality, but like in 4 Kids episode count it was 104. um yeah, but they also skipped the Laboon arc, but they also skipped a bunch of they skipped some episodes as well. Some episodes I think were fused together as well. Are you talking about 4 Kids, or are you talking about its new run? Are you talking about when it got canceled on Cartoon Network's Toonami, or are you talking about when it got canceled on Adult Swim's Toonami? Because it got canceled twice. It got canceled twice. And that's a pretty good feat. It got canceled on Adult Swim's Toonami because not because of that. It got canceled because people weren't watching it. I don't think it would have mattered if it had been on the on an earlier time slot. I don't think it would have mattered if it had been an earlier time slot. If people are gonna stay up to watch a show, you know, it's gonna still do good regardless. Um, when they moved, what was it, My Hero? It still did very well, despite the fact that it was moved further down the line. What else? Is it Samurai? No, Samurai was for it, and it still did good. Same with Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan was at a later time. Was at a later time too, for a while, and it still did good. Comes down to One Piece when it came back on Adult Swim. The reason why it didn't do good was because just people weren't interested in that show. One Piece is just not a show that's very interesting in the United States. And not to mention, it still has the stigma of the 4 Kids dub to it. Um, and it's just a show that people aren't interested in here. It's not. It's There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with One Piece. It's just that the show here isn't taken seriously. And I could tell you why it's not taken seriously here. Uh, Pirate shows here don't look like that. And I can tell you it's a show that just doesn't connect with North American people overall because it's not a show looked at as something that would interest people. A majority of people that are watching. Reason why a show like Dragon Ball Z connects with people is around here is because it was fighting, and it connected because fighting during that time, a lot of people liked that type of stuff when Dragon Ball Z came out in '96. You know, wrestling was something that was hugely popular here in pop culture. Okay, I'll have to fix that when this is done. Um, Wrestling was hugely popular here. A lot of people were interested in that stuff, and so when not to mention, you know, a lot of people liked superheroes and stuff like that in the '90s. So when Dragon Ball Z came out, Dragon Ball Z was something that hugely connected with the people here. It still does because of that. One Piece isn't connected with the majority of the audience because One Piece is seen as or Luffy is seen as a goofball. When you see a pirate, you don't think of a pirate like that. You think of someone that looks like Blackbeard, for example, or Hook. That's what the Pirates of the Caribbean looks like. That's what you think of when you think of a pirate. And One Piece doesn't look like that. One Piece isn't a show that is like that. And so that's not a show that connects with the general audience, a majority. Now, of course, anime fans are going to be into One Piece. But we're talking about people that aren't typically anime fans. That's what you need to connect to. That's what your market needs to connect to. Dragon Ball Z has that. Pokemon has that. Yu-Gi-Oh has that. Yu-Gi-Oh connected with fans because it was cards. And people like playing card games, especially back in the 90s. And so because it was a plot revolve around cards, it was easy for Yu-Gi-Oh to connect. Obviously, Pokemon in itself was a hit regardless, but you get the point. The marketing was there for those type of shows because of what was going on at that time during society. One Piece isn't a show that I don't think, even if 4Kids had not dubbed it, I don't think would have been connecting with fans as much as Dragon Ball Z is here. Now, One Piece is hugely popular in Japan. It's hugely popular in Japan. It's popular in a lot of countries. Okay, it outsold mangas in Dragon Ball over Dragon Ball Z, but it's not something here that people are into. People just aren't into that type of stuff, especially seeing someone outside of the stereotype of what a pirate looks like. The One Piece Straw Hat Gang don't look like pirates. They don't. They're their own brand of people. They don't look like stereotype pirates. And that's one of the biggest flaws of One Piece, like in terms of it being interesting here. And that's just the doggone truth. It got canceled twice. That's saying something. That's just saying something. It's not a knock on it. I watch One Piece. I like One Piece. But I'm just telling you how it is. Guys, that's just how it is when it comes to that type of animes. Some animes connect with people and just some don't. And some really connect with people where you get to the point where a show actually does very good here and just doesn't do good otherwise. Bleach is an example of that. Bleach is very popular here in North America. It's very popular here, but guess what? It's not popular in Japan. The stuff that they do in Bleach connects with the North American audience. It doesn't connect with Japanese audience, which is surprising, but it just doesn't. Because in Japan, it's not a show really that, I don't know, it's, actually I should say it's not really against Japan culture because it really is. It's based on Japan culture, but Bleach is something that's more driven for something in North America. the swords and all that stuff. Um, it didn't do well in Japan. We know that because that's why it was canceled. That's why the anime never finished, and it's going to finish now finally. But uh, it's mainly because of the North American audience. Why it's coming back. I mean, they rushed the last two chapters of the manga just so they could get a rushed ending of Bleach because it wasn't that popular here, or popular there. That's why One Piece is still going on. One Piece is still going on because it's hugely popular in Japan. It's not popular here, but it's hugely popular in Japan, so they're continuing it. The reason why Bleach got canceled was because it had the opposite effect. It was popular here, but it wasn't popular in Japan, so they iced it and didn't continue doing it until now, when they're going to, I guess, at some point finish it. Um, that's just the reality of it. You know, um, you know, Bleach had that opposite effect of One Piece had. You know, um, and just sometimes that's just how sometimes the cookie crumbles. Unfortunately, it sucks. It does. Believe me. If you're if you're invested into a show and it gets canceled, whether it's an anime, a cartoon, a live action series, if something gets canceled and you're invested into it and then you never get a conclusion, it sucks because then you always wonder what the hell happened or what happened. Um, but just sometimes that just happens, unfortunately. I mean, there's a lot of good shows out that have potential that just don't get anywhere, and it's just because overall people aren't watching it. And if people don't watch it, then they ain't gonna renew it because that's just how business is. Um, you know, Sometimes shows get canceled even though they shouldn't. 4 Kids never dubbed season 4 of GX, which was a huge mistake, and it still is to this day. 4 Kids probably regrets it. I guarantee you they regret it because they dubbed 5Ds, and 5Ds ended up being canceled because of low ratings. That's what they didn't. There was like 2 seasons they didn't dub in 5Ds, I believe. 5Ds didn't dub like 2 seasons. It was either one or two, but I remember they canceled it and they left it off on a cliffhanger because the ratings were terrible. 5Ds didn't connect with people here in North America. It was not well received. I didn't like it either. So I mean, yeah, and GX was the casualty of it because GX was getting high ratings and was doing good, but because Konami wanted to basically be like, we want you to dub 5Ds because we are coming out with these cards for 5Ds, they decided, well, we ain't gonna dub GX anymore. GX was doing very good in the ratings. It's the only show that during the Saturday morning era of Yu-Gi-Oh, where they aired everything on Saturday mornings. It's the only one that didn't air on Saturday mornings. It aired on Cartoon Network. It's the only one for the Yu-Gi-Oh series. Original Yu-Gi-Oh premiered on 4 Kids or Kids WB. Uh, 5Ds premiered on CW. Zexal aired on CW. GX aired on Cartoon Network's Magoozies. And then ultimately went to Toonami for season 3 once Magoozies ended. But point being is those shows continued. Those shows continued. Well, GX didn't continue, but 5Ds was dubbed and it got canceled because it sucked and it wasn't received that well here. Um, and then of course we had Zexal, which got a finished dub because of the lawsuit. They were rushing to get that dub out really quick. Well, yeah, and they also had to show that they were willing to dub. Now we're going to see all the dubs get dubbed because they have to show that they, are going to actually be serious with the dub. You know, ever since Zexel, they have been finishing the dubs, even though they've been terrible ever since with putting the show out. They have been putting them all out because they have to show that they're going to actually dub the shit and not play around and not play games, because that's what that's one of the things I think of the lawsuit that was settled on, is that they were going to be dubbing everything and not skipping shit. Now, how did 4Kids really get One Piece? Was it from a package deal? No. Yu-Gi-Oh was already licensed well before One Piece ever was. That was not a part of the package deal. The package deal was Shonen King, with One Piece. That is right, but Yu-Gi-Oh, no. Yu-Gi-Oh had been licensed since 2000, way before they even got One Piece. Before One Piece was even up for licensing by that point. Yeah, Satch Bell. That was another good show that got canceled. That didn't deserve it. That got mainly canceled though because Toonami was going under. Zatch Bell came out at a really bad time. They came out at a really bad time because by the time they got close to season 3, that was when Toonami was pulling stuff away. And they even still continued dubbing episodes. There was I think 4 episodes of season 3 that got dubbed that aired on Toonami Jetstream, which they aired after Toonami ended. Because Jetstream continued even though Toonami was over with. They continued until January 31st of 2009. So there was 4 episodes of Zatch Bell for season 3 that got dubbed. But, so they were obviously into the production for it. But then when everything got pulled, they just ceased production on it because of it. Really unfortunate. One Piece, getting back to the whole One Piece package, it was with Shonen King. It was not with Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece, the problem with the One Piece whole thing is there were pilot episodes from each company. 4Kids, Ocean Studios, Funimation, and Viz Media. They all got to dub one episode of One Piece, the first episode of One Piece, and it was basically a pilot sent from Toei Animation. Toei Animation ultimately picked 4Kids. Supposedly, the one from Funimation, they had Monkey D. Luffy being voiced by Eric Vale, the voice of Future Trunks, who ultimately ended up being the voice of Sanji for the Funimation dub, which would have been very interesting, seeing Monkey D. Luffy as a male, having a male voice actor. But they ended up going with 4Kids. 4Kids ended up allowing Zolo, Sanji, or not Sanji, Zolo, Luffy, and Nami. They were all picked by they were all picked by the creator of One Piece. He picked the main characters, voice actor. That's why Erica Schroeder voiced Luffy. That's why it was a girl that voiced him. Um, 4Kids never finished any of their other anime dubs other than F Zero GP. I've never heard of that show. They never finished GX and they never finished 5Ds. I don't know if they've finished anything else. I mean, Pokemon technically they never finished, but Pokemon's still going on to this day, so I don't really count them. Um, yeah, they basically got transferred over to another dubbing studio. Yeah, with all the voice actors being cut, you know. Yeah. Oh my god. I wish Skyland would come back too. Supposedly there was supposed to be a movie. I made a video about that a while back, but no movie was ever released. So yeah, I don't know when Brains is coming. But they stopped dubbing episodes. Uh, I think February, uh, early February, they stopped dubbing episodes in Canada. So I don't know why that is. But now, obviously, with this coronavirus thing, I'm sure whenever they do decide to come back and start dubbing again, though, it'll be a while. Yeah, we're still waiting on that. Dragon Ball Super Season 2. Yeah, we're still waiting on that. It'll be 2021 by the time that comes. Oh, actually, no, 2022, I think, now with the delay of this freaking coronavirus at this rate. Excuse me.